with the reading of this poem, and I will try to give you this poem, sort of show it to you. So Amoretti 75, one day I wrote her name. Now this is written in the Roman numerals. This is 50. This L, it is not actually L, it stands for 50. And if the numbers are on the right hand side, it increases by 10. This is 10. So 60 plus 10, 70, and 5, 75. So it's written like this. Sonnet 75. One day I wrote her name, by Edmund Spenser. So let us read this poem. It is a short poem, and not much explaining to do here. Just some comments I'd make at the end of the poem after I finish. Now one day I wrote her name upon the strand, but came the waves and washed it away. So here, as you can see, Spenser is presumably, he is visiting one of the seaside places, and he's sitting on the strand, means the sand, the sand bank beside the sea. And his beloved, that is Elizabeth Boyle, who had been his second wife, she was with him. And what was he doing? One day I wrote her name upon the strand. So he was trying to write the name of his beloved on the sands. But came the waves and washed it away. But his effort was not successful, since, as you all know, that the waves of the sea, the waves of the sea came, and of course it washed away the effort of the poet. So what he had written, the name was washed away. Again I wrote it with a second hand, but came the tide and made my pains his prey. So the poet says that after having written the name of my beloved on the sands, I found that it was washed away by the waves of the sea. So I wrote it for a second time. Second hand means for the second time. But this time also the same thing happened. The tide came up and it washed the name away and made my pains his prey. So my pains means my effort, my attempt at writing her name. So it fell a prey, a victim to the rushing waves. So again he failed. So the first 4 lines of this poem, here Spenser is talking about his attempts, his vain attempts to write the name of his beloved on the sand. Now what happens? We understand that he is being accompanied by the beloved, that is Elizabeth Boyle, and she, after having seen what Spenser was doing, or what the poet or the narrator was doing, she says to him, "Vain man, said she, that dost in vain essay a mortal thing so to immortalize. So you are a proud, a vain person. She rebuked him playfully. Or here, of course, the word vain would have another meaning, that is foolish. So you are a stupid or foolish kind of a person because you are trying to do the dost in vain essay. So this vain is a futile in the sense of useless. You are trying to do an useless thing. Essay means attempt. A mortal thing, so to immortalize. So you are trying to immortalize my name when you know very well that human beings are not immortal. We are all mortal, and likewise I am also mortal. So my name that you are trying to write on the sands, it is not going to survive the onrushing waves. So you are trying to do a foolish thing. That's what she says to him. For I myself shall like to this decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. So the beloved says here, I myself shall be dead. I will die after some time, and because I am mortal, and my name, and also my name, be wiped out likewise. So my name will never be mentioned again. It will be forever gone, gone forever. So, for I myself shall like to this decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. So, just as my body would decay with my death, my name would also be wiped out or be destroyed. So this is the response of the beloved. So this poem is, of course, it is in the form of a conversation, as you can see. It is in the nature of a conversation between Spenser or the poet or the narrator, speaker, you can say, and a woman who is presumably the beloved, the person whose name the poet was trying to write. So this is this conversation and this description, it happens in the first 8 lines. And now in the next 6 lines of the poem, you will find the response of the poet. What does the poet say to this? The way he has been rebuked by his beloved. So, what is the poet's response? The poet now says to his beloved, not so, quod I, let baser things devise to die in dust, but you shall live by fame. So the poet replies that it is not going to be so. Quod I means declared I, or stated I stated, I declared, I said, let baser things devise to die in dust. So baser things meaning things which are of an inferior quality. which actually are not so beautiful or so grand like you. So inferior or unimportant things, those things will be destroyed in dust, and they would be mingled with the dust. But you shall live by fame. But that is not your destiny. That is not going to happen to you. Since you are my wife, I will make every possible effort to make you and your name survive time, the passage of time. So you will live by fame. You will have eternal fame or glory. So how would he be doing that? What would be his method? My verse, your virtues rare shall eternize. So this is the way that Spenser would like to adopt. And poets, writers, as we all know, they live on by their writings, by the virtue of their writings, what they have produced. So we can say that, or we can understand that Spenser, like his contemporary poets, especially Shakespeare, you you have read, I think, Sonnet 18, if it is in your syllabus. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, where Shakespeare was eulogizing the beauty of his friend, his male friend. And he was saying that your qualities, your virtues would live on in my verses. So Spenser is doing the same thing here. My verse, your virtues rare shall eternize. So the rare virtues that you possess, you are an extraordinary woman, you are an extraordinary individual, and you are full of all kinds of good virtues, good qualities, which are rare, which cannot be found easily in people. So I have the duty, or I am going to write this poem, or I am going to write a poem through which your good qualities would live forever, eternize. So it will be eternal for posterity to read. And in the heavens write your glorious name. So it is an exaggeration that your name would be written heaven, not on the sand, which would be washed away by the waves. So Edmund Spenser is, of course, quite eloquent here in his praise of his beloved's rare qualities and her glorious name, which he wishes to make eternal by his poems, where he will be celebrating those qualities of his beloved. So, in answer to his beloved's mocking, reproof, he says all these things. Where, whenas death shall all the world subdue, our love shall live and later life renew. So, in the last two lines, the last couplet, you see that he acknowledges the fact, of course, it is a fact that they are all mortal human beings, and a time will come in the future when both he himself and his beloved would be no longer in this world. They would be dead and gone. So death will come and all the world subdue. So death will have in its grip everything, everything that is there in this world. So nothing is permanent in this world. Everything will pass away and be lost. But something will survive. And what is that? What will survive even after death? And that is their love. The love that they have for each other, that is going to survive, that is going to live on. And it will be renewed each time the poem, my poem, as Spenser says here, my poem is being read and it is being appreciated by posterity, by people who would come later. So that is his wish, or that is his effort, how he wants to preserve the name and fame of his beloved through his verse, through poetry. So the power of poetry and the power of love will triumph over the passage of time and death. So this is the poem, and it is a simple poem, as you can see. Now here, of course, I will talk about this rhyme scheme which Spenser had adopted, and for that reason it has been called the Spenserian stanza. Now, how to understand the or make out the rhyme scheme? Now you have to look at the last words of each line. So the last word of the first line is strand, but it does not rhyme with the second, the last word of the second line. So we have to designate this as A, small a, and this as B, A, B. Now this is hand. It rhymes with strand, but not with away. So this is A and this is A. A, B, A, B. Away, pray. A, B, A, B. Again, assay. This is similar. It rhymes with pray. So this is also A. A, B, A, B, A. Lies. So this is a different different kind of a rhyme scheme which we can see here.